WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight at 10 o'clock on your Thanksgiving. I'm here alongside sports anchor Courtney Robb. Courtney, what a game.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
What an Egg Bowl, am I right? Well, let's take a look at that final score for you for the 92nd Battle of the Golden Egg. Yes, you're seeing this correctly. 21-20 the final in this one. Ole Miss with an opportunity to tie it up with about 30 seconds or so to go in the fourth quarter. We'll listen to what happened. Kicker Luke Logan would go for the extra point. He would miss it after they get the potential game-tying touchdown with just moments to go. And after an unsportsmanlike conduct call was called on wide receiver Elijah Moore for Ole Miss, another missed opportunity for the Rebels. So Mississippi State coming away with the win 21-20. The Golden Egg will remain in Starkville for the second consecutive year. Joe Moorhead 2-0 against Ole Miss, and Mississippi State, one of the most important things, clinching its 10th consecutive bowl eligibility, with finishing with a 6-6 record on the season. As you can see, Garrett Schrader finishing with 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. We'll have the highlights coming up later for you in the show. Scott?
All right, Courtney, thank you very much. Well, for many families around Mississippi, all is fair in love and football, and that often means a house divided. Courtney Ann Jackson has a story of one couple that's found a friendly way to claim bragging rights each year.
The Egg Bowl winner takes the trophy and, of course, the bragging rights. But in the Smith household, they also take the decorating rights.
One year I decided to get a little 2-3 foot tree and decorate it all state. Well, he came home and he was like, well, that's not fair. I want an Ole Miss tree. And I was like, no, we can't have that many trees in our house. We're just having one. So that's sort of what started our tradition of a rivalry tree.
As is the case in most divided households, they take their jabs.
It's a little smack talk leading up to the game, but it'll be a lot game day.
Game day.
And then all month long you have the bragging rights, you've got the tree, and it's just on.
Because it's up till the first of the year, so we get to admire it or hate it.
Melanie learned patience about putting up the tree the hard way.
One year, State was kicking their tail, and about the fourth quarter, I started getting out the State ornaments and decorating it and walking around the house all sassy. And about that time, Ole Miss came back, and I started taking my ornaments off. So I don't do that anymore.
They've upped the size of the tree through the years, but the bet remains the same. The Dogs and Rebs have temporary spots on the tree until that final buzzer. The winning team's box of ornaments go up directly after the game. Without the W, one of these boxes
It's back in the attic.
Back in the attic. Hotty toddy.
Hell State.
Hotty toddy.
Watch.
Hotty toddy.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
I guess her tree's staying up a little longer. Now, tailgating in the Junction, it's a tradition like no other, but add Thanksgiving and the Egg Bowl to the mix. Tailgate traditions, they collide. Now, everyone knows about Saturdays in the Junction, but nothing is like the annual battle for the Golden Egg. Now, Mississippi State clinching those bragging rights again this year. Many folks spent the morning setting up their tents in the Junction, but instead of traditional tailgating foods, it was a Thanksgiving feast.
We started this years ago, and it just makes it seem like Thanksgiving, even though you're on campus. It just puts it apart from a different tailgate. It's a family ordeal, family at State.
You have some people that are just there for the game and believe that the game being on Thanksgiving adds a little more to the rivalry.
Well, it's always been a good rivalry, you know. I mean, it makes it fun. I mean, I'm not so biased. I'm not hatred, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
The highlights from the nail-biting, blood pressure rising game, they'll be coming up a little bit later in sports. New tonight, a Calhoun County man is jailed on drug charges. Investigators say that Michael Hastings was found in possession of over a pound of marijuana, 5.8 grams of ecstasy, and 0.3 of a gram of methamphetamine. Hastings was arrested by Calhoun County deputies with the assistance of MDOC officers. His bond is set at $25,000. A new police chief, but a familiar face, will lead the Oxford Police Department. Oxford Board of Aldermen announced earlier this week Jeff McCutcheon will be the police chief starting in January. He's been serving as the interim chief when Chief Joey East took a leave of absence while he was running for sheriff. East is now taking on the role as sheriff in Lafayette County after winning in the general election. East's father has been the county sheriff since 1972. Now McCutcheon again is no stranger to OPD. He has served as the operations major since 2014.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Just a little bit of rain on the radar this evening. The good news is it's all north of the Tennessee-Mississippi state line, coming through central and western portions of Tennessee. No rain expected here tonight. And that was good news for that big game over in Starkville. Take a look at this time lapse from earlier today. This was just before the game started, so about 6 o'clock. Look at all those people out there. Great weather for it, but it was just a little chilly out there. And those temperatures are going to continue to go down overnight tonight. Low of 44 here in Columbus and 42 in Starkville. Now this weekend, we're keeping tabs on the chance for some strong to severe storms. You don't want to miss all those details coming up in just a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Trevor, thank you very much. Well, you know, it is Thanksgiving, and 'tis the season to give back. Now, this morning, dozens helped make sure that people here in the Friendly City had turkey and all the trimmings for Thanksgiving. Our Stephanie Poole has more on what's been a yearly tradition.
Before this army of volunteers carve their Thanksgiving turkeys, they want people in need to have one to eat for themselves. For the past 25 years, the Concerned Citizens of Columbus Service Group has spent Thanksgiving morning cooking hot meals.
We're getting meals ready to go out to the elderly, disabled, and just for any person that might need a meal. And we're doing it city and county.
Event coordinator Annie Berry says meals come with turkey, cake, and all the trimmings.
My holiday would not be complete unless I've known that I've helped someone else. And this is just the start of all of our holidays.
This year's goal is to deliver 1,800 meals, and over 200 people rolled up their sleeves to help.
I didn't realize we would have this many volunteers, but I'm real proud that people see what our mission is about, and that's about helping someone else.
Columbus Mayor Robert Smith says he loves seeing so many people giving back.
It's great for the city of Columbus to see the citizens within the community, not only within the city of Columbus, but in the Lowndes County area, come together and sacrifice their time, energy, and effort from a volunteer standpoint.
Smith and Berry says eventually it'll be up to the young adults to carry this tradition for years to come.
I'm hoping that they will learn something from this and take this on to the next generation and in the future here. All different age groups that here volunteer their time and assisting toward this effort here. So they know that it means a lot to the senior citizens within the community.
We'll continue because, you know, the younger generation needs to know that we need to continue to care about other people. It needs to be bigger than yourself.
Reporting in Lowndes County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
Berry says there is a committee who is working out details to serve meals during Christmas. Tupelo's Salvation Army also hosted a huge feast. Thousands of guests enjoyed turkey, dressing, gravy, all the trimmings inside the newly renovated community center. The food was prepared in the recently updated kitchen. Hundreds of volunteers started working early this morning to make sure all the food was ready for the annual Thanksgiving Day tradition.
This is the perfect example of people coming together, bringing what they have, and then just sharing that Thanksgiving spirit, sharing that love, giving thanks for what they've got, and understanding that when we all put in a little bit, we can all benefit, and it's just amazing to see.
And get this, there were more than 4,000 people that were fed there today. Members of churches from across Northeast Mississippi, they made Thanksgiving special for nearly 1,000 other people. Our Allie Martin tells us how the outreach has continued for more than 3 decades with volunteers of all ages.
Katina Holland wasn't going to let a leg injury keep her from helping at the Thanksgiving Day outreach.
I've just learned to be content in whatever state I'm in, and you can't let your circumstances dictate your life. You know, I won't let anything stop me from doing what God said do, and that's being a servant and helping someone else along the way.
I need 6 pads of green beans.
Holland, along with other volunteers, helped make plate lunches for inmates and staff at area jails, people in the ICU waiting room at NMMC, and others who would have gone without. The Thanksgiving Day feeding began 30 years ago when Pastor Clarence Parks of the Temple of Compassion and Deliverance was prompted to do something for the homeless on Thanksgiving Day. Since then, it has grown to include area jails and others in need. Volunteers say they are truly blessed to be able to help others on this holiday.
Some people take homeless people for granted, and we don't think about others that actually need something on Thanksgiving.
Some people really don't have nothing for Thanksgiving, can't do nothing Thanksgiving, but we trying to give them a great Thanksgiving.
From my heart, I would like to let everyone know that we love you. We hope that you enjoy your Thanksgiving. We hope that this meal can bring light and joy to your hearts and warmth.
Volunteers will prepare and deliver meals on Christmas Day. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
More than 700 meals were prepared and delivered from today's outreach. Well, time now to send things over to meteorologist Trevor Burchett. Trevor, are you full?
I'm full. I think this
you brought
button,
in a lot of leftovers.
Yeah,
So.
I already had my leftover round. I had it in the microwave upstairs. I think this button is just about ready to give way. So we're going to have to see if it'll make it through Maine weather here in just a little bit. But now it's our favorite time of the year. Christmas season has officially started. So I'm going to bring out the Christmas photos now. This is Dale. He's under the Christmas tree. He's ready to be decorating. And if you're going to be decorating outside tomorrow, pretty nice weather back into the mid-60s, but it's going to stay mostly cloudy. I have the latest on your weather coming up right after this.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
What a game over in Starkville at Mississippi State. This is a live view from the junction looking up from the Cullis Way Depot into the junction. Lots of folks already starting to scatter out. There's still a few folks in the junction. I think that party's going to be going on for quite a few hours now. If you're headed out to the junction to get in on some of those activities, temperatures are cooling down just a little bit. We're already down to 50, and we are going to be on our way down from here. It's pretty chilly all across the area right now as well. We're 52 in Columbus, 50 already in Tupelo. We're already down to 49 in Bruce over in Calhoun County. And we are 46 up in Oxford. Tonight, I think we're going to get down to a low in the low to mid 40s. Some areas might get down to that 42 or 43 mark. I think it'll be 44 here in Columbus, staying mostly cloudy. Overall, a really quiet night. And for your Friday, Black Friday shopping looking really nice, similar to today, what we saw weather-wise. Mostly cloudy through the day, maybe a few peaks of sunshine, staying in those low 60s in the afternoon. Now, we've got high pressure off to our east. That's helping us to stay fairly dry, aside from these showers off to our north. But we're keeping an eye off to the west. This low pressure in Nevada, that's going to be our next storm system that brings us those rain and storm chances for Saturday. So we're going to start things off Saturday at 6 a.m. You can see some showers and storms off to our east. We're dry to start off Saturday by about 6 or 7 a.m. I think we stay dry through the morning hours. I think by lunchtime, most everybody's still going to be dry, but notice these storms starting to ramp up just a little bit through the Memphis metro area. And then as we go on through time, but as we get past lunchtime, 2 or 3 o'clock, maybe a few storms right there along that I-22 corridor. We'll call it scattered showers and storms through the day. Better chances for storms are going to be right there after sunset. So this is 5 p.m. You can see those storms lining off to the west, and those are going to be coming through here through the afternoon and evening hours. So 7, 8 o'clock, going to be more into the central portion of our area, say Starkville and Oktibbeha County. And we're going to take a quick break and turn this thing into the 3D mode. And what this is looking at is the storm instability and motion in the storm. So think of this as the ingredients for severe weather. And you can see we definitely have these ingredients here. Now, I don't think this is going to be a huge severe weather event because look at the scale. This is still kind of on the low end, but definitely these ingredients are there. So as these storms come on through, we do have the potential for at least a little bit of severe weather. Now, the good news is this gets out of here pretty quickly. I think by 10 or 11 o'clock, things really start to push out of here, and we should be dry overnight Saturday into Sunday. Now, I mentioned that chance for some severe weather. Right now, a level 2 out of 5. Best chance is going to be for some flash flooding and gusty winds, but with all that motion up in the atmosphere, we certainly could see 1 or 2 spin-up tornadoes. So you want to keep that WCBI News app handy. We'll alert you in the event that a warning is issued for your area. And, of course, check back tomorrow and on Saturday. We'll have the latest info for you then. But the good news is, after that storm system moves out on Saturday, that cold front's going to come through. We cool off just a little bit, but we stay really nice. Mix of sun and clouds through the week. Pretty breezy on Sunday, though, so hold on to your hats. Really nice next week. Cooler temperatures back down into the 40s for Monday.
All right, Trevor, thank you very much. Well, holiday shopping, that time is here, and it can be kind of stressful while you're tracking your budget. So are the stores, even the state. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
You may not think much about that 7% sales tax tacked on to every purchase, or even where it's going, but much of it is bolstering the state's budget.
We typically see a spike every year after the holiday season and the cash that comes in January. So last year at this time we did see about a 12% increase over the monthly average for the calendar year of 2018.
Once upon a time, Mississippi was losing out on some revenue when you logged on and clicked your way to a new purchase. But as of this year, a portion of the tax collected from your online purchases has a specific destination.
It's not just about what we purchase locally now, because what we are getting through the online sales is also now being diverted, and that will boost the infrastructure spending for cities and counties, for roads, bridges, and for city water systems.
It helps level the playing field for small businesses when the 7% was tacked on to online sales like those from Amazon. Still, owner of James and Lee in Clinton says they're in constant competition.
You see big box retailers closing every day, so it's scary to be a small business owner and think if those big box stores are closing, it could happen to us. So it is very important that when you're thinking about your Christmas gifts that you shop local in your community and support those people who want to be a part of your community.
And their bottom line is anchored by the holiday season.
A huge chunk of our sales every year. December, we should almost always hit our mark. It might be a little under depending on how that year is gone or whatever, but we always know December is going to be a great month of sales.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The Mississippi Department of Revenue Commissioner says he's anticipating a strong holiday season for retail sales and says that's due in part to the strength of our national economy. And a lot of folks there gearing up for Black Friday shopping, and Tupelo police are taking proactive steps to make sure that shoppers are safe throughout the night. Operation Safe Holiday means you'll see more officers spending more time in shopping areas, even parking lots. Security will be beefed up in high foot traffic areas. Patrols will also be increased to where traffic can sometimes get congested. And police say that there's also some steps you can take to protect yourself, especially when it comes to potential porch pirates.
We ask that the consumer track their packages, and so that they'll know kind of when they're going to be delivered, and if they're not going to be there, have somebody there to pick up those packages for them so they're not left unattended on their front doorstep. They're a target for somebody to come by and pick up and haul away.
Now, specialty units such as narcotics and school resource officers will have their schedules also altered to help out to address the call volume around the holidays. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone. With the holidays in full swing, some may not always feel so upbeat. Tonight, how you can fight the holiday blues in our Health Talk with Baptist.
I'm Chaplain Steve Brown, Director of Spiritual Care here at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. For some people, feelings of sadness and loneliness during the holidays may go deeper. Holiday cheer may be difficult to come by if you're facing the emotional pain of loss, such as the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, divorce, or an extended illness. This type of loss is called grief. Some losses are also normal transitions in life, such as a child leaving home for college or getting married. Nevertheless, they still create a sense of loss. Even in the best of times, the holidays are stressful. But when there is an added emotional burden, they can be especially difficult. When there is a loss or change in our lives, our traditions may also change, and we find we miss those things that have brought us comfort. But holidays can also be a time of healing if we open our hearts to new traditions. It's unrealistic to think we should be happy all of the time. It's normal and quite healthy to feel sadness. Let go of unrealistic expectations. The cranberry sauce doesn't taste quite right, so what? Say no if you need to. Do what you can. Experiencing joy is a choice. We can choose to become bitter, or we can choose to become better. I'm praying you're able to find joy in the midst of your holiday blues. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
The 2019 Egg Bowl. Need we say more? Highlights are coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
It may have been the 90-second battle for the Golden Egg for Ole Miss and Mississippi State. However, for the 2019 Egg Bowl, a lot more on the line than just which team gets to claim the hardware. Both MSU head coach Joe Moorhead and Ole Miss head coach Matt Luke in the hot seat. fighting for bowl eligibility and for each coach's future with their respective programs. Let's get to Starkville for the 2019 Egg Bowl. The road team winner of 4 straight. Bulldogs needing a win to clinch bowl eligibility. Mistake for the Rebels early on the pitch. Ole Miss running back Jerry and Ely fumbles. Recovered by MSU, ending a promising Ole Miss drive. Bulldogs unable to score until 2 possessions later. Promising drive ends with a Nick Gibson touchdown. The MSU running back taking it in from 20 yards out. Mississippi State up 7-0. Bulldogs driving again. This time it's running back Kylan Hill on the carry. Rattles off a 25-yard gain to put the Bulldogs inside the red zone. The freshman starter punching it in. It's quarterback Garrett Schrader into the end zone. MSU up 14-0 after the first quarter. To the second half we go. Ole Miss offense comes alive. Quarterback John Rice Plumlee finds wide receiver Dennis Jackson across the middle for a 12-yard pickup. The Rebels driving after that. It's the SEC's leading quarterback rusher, John Rice Plumlee, into the end zone. The Rebels cut the lead to 14-7, trailing the Bulldogs. A mistake for Mississippi State punter Tucker Day fumbles the snap, keeps to try and pick up the first down. Unfortunately brought down in plus territory for Ole Miss. Rebels capitalize after a 4th down conversion. Plumlee hands it off to Ely, punches it in. The Egg Bowl tied at 14 going into the break. Ole Miss with a chance to tie things up in the second and send it to overtime. But after an unfortunate, unsportsmanlike conduct by wide receiver Elijah Moore and a missed extra point by Luke Logan, the Golden Egg will stay in Starkville for another year. MSU gets the win 21-20. The Bulldogs improved to 6-6 on the season, clinching its 10th consecutive bowl game. MSU head coach Joe Moorhead Scott improving to 2-0 against Ole Miss.
And some of the things that they were tweeting out that he said, kind of funny. I mean,
absolutely. I won't say them on the air, but you can go find
yeah,
them yourself.
Check out the Twitter. We'll be back right after this.
Full Egg Bowl recap on Sunrise. Happy Thanksgiving.